Alright, so I'm back for another video, and I'm a little pissed because I just recorded an entire video halfway home, and for some reason, it didn't pick up the audio. But here we are. Let's do this again. So, I've been gone for about a month. Some things have changed. Finally got married. That's good. Been spending a lot of time with the wife and the baby. Been having a lot of fun. But now to the politics. So, there's a lot of stuff that's happened. Obviously, when you disappear for 3 weeks in a political cycle like this, you're going to miss a lot. So, I'll start from basically right around the time that the last video I made. So, RFK dropped out, endorsed Trump. He's got his name off majority of the states. I believe Michigan, Pennsylvania, a lot of the key states right now that potentially Kennedy could spoil. So, that's a good thing. Going from there, we had a disastrous interview from Harris, I believe, about a week after. That went absolutely horrible for her. She proceeded to not answer questions. Again, she can't answer questions because every time she does, no one likes the answer. Every time she answers a question, she loses a point in the national poll. I guarantee it. Anytime she actually wholeheartedly answers a single question, she loses an entire point because she is so unpopular. No one believes or anything of what she says. She's either lying to you with her answers, or she says something so outlandish that the entire American public does not want. So, from the interview, we also then got a disastrous debate performance on both sides. Trump, unfortunately, his circumstances, they targeted him. They live fact-checked him like 4 or 5 times the entire debate, and Harris got absolutely none, and she lied several times or used faulty statistics, the same thing that they tried to get Trump with. And Harris did absolutely horrible because she proceeded to not answer a question. There were several times, and I'll bring up a few clips.
Destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify here, you bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken.
But also, as commander-in-chief, if elected, how would you deal with Vladimir Putin, and would it be any different from what we're seeing from President Biden?
Well, first of all, it's important to remind the former president you're not running against Joe Biden, you're running against me.
I believe the reason that Donald Trump says that this war would be over within 24 hours is because he would just give it up. And that's not who we are as Americans. Let's understand what happened here.
I actually met with Zelensky a few days before Russia invaded, tried through force to change territorial boundaries, to defy one of the most important international rules and norms, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity.
And I met with President Zelensky. I shared with him American intelligence about how he could defend himself. Days later, I went to NATO's eastern flank, to Poland and Romania.
And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together
to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country.
If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now.
And understand what that would mean, because Putin's agenda is not just about Ukraine. Understand why the European allies and our NATO allies are so thankful that you are no longer president, and that we understand the importance of the greatest military alliance the world has ever known, which is NATO, and what we have done to preserve the ability of Zelensky and the Ukrainians to fight for their independence.
Otherwise, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv with his eyes on the rest of Europe.
Starting with Poland, and why don't you tell the 800,000 Polish Americans right here in Pennsylvania how quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship
with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch. Clearly, I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country.
Okay, do it now.
One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people. I believe in what we can do to strengthen our small businesses, which is why I have a plan. Let's talk about our plans.
You can very clearly tell she's panicking here.
And let's compare the plans. I have a plan to give startup businesses $50,000 tax deduction, to pursue their ambitions, their innovation, their ideas, their hard work. I have a plan, $6,000 for young families for the first year of your child's life to help you in that most critical stage of your child's development. I have a plan that is about allowing people to be able to pursue what has been fleeting in terms of the American dream by offering a help with down payment of $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers.
All right, so you do that. What's to stop sellers from instantly raising their price to $25,000 higher than what it is right now? That's easy money. Why wouldn't they? You're artificially inflating everything by $25,000.
President
move
Harris,
forward.
thank you. Let's turn to policy.
President
Let's
Trump,
turn back
we
to
have
policy.
to move on. President Trump.
Let's turn to policy,
She
please.
has a plan to defund the police. She has a plan to confiscate everybody's gun.
President Trump,
she
we
has
do
a
have to
plan
move
to
on to
not
other
allow
issues.
fracking in Pennsylvania or anywhere else.
Okay. Thank you,
That's
Mr.
what her
President.
plan is until just recently.
I just need
Lindsay,
to
go ahead.
respond
President
because
Trump,
the
President
former
Trump.
president has said
No, I'm
something
sorry.
twice that I need to
No,
respond to.
I'm sorry.
I
We're
just
going
need
to
to
move on,
respond
Vice
one
President
time
Harris.
to what he has
President
said
Trump, this
multiple
is
times.
now your
Yes.
third time running
Stage here
for
tonight often asks his supporters, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? When it comes to the economy, do you believe Americans are better off than they were 4 years ago?
So I was raised as a middle-class kid.
And I am actually the only person on the stage who has a plan that is about lifting up the middle class and working people of America. I believe in the ambitions, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people.
And that is why I imagine and have actually a plan to build what I call an opportunity economy. Because here's the thing.
We know that we have a shortage of homes and housing, and the cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children.
My passion, one of them, is small businesses.
I was actually, my mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses. My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to start up small businesses, knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy. My opponent, on the other hand, his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires and big corporations, which will result in $5 trillion from America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists have said that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more a year.
Because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
There were several times where she just did not answer the question. She went on about her, I grew up in the middle class, even though her mom was a college professor, so she probably made six figures. Now, it took her probably a while. I mean, she did go back to college. That's factual information, yes, but she did not, struggle by any means. She was not like lower middle class. But she always brings up and never answers the question. She diverts. Her whole campaign is when you're asked the question, divert to Trump. Don't answer the question. Don't answer it hopefully. Lie or divert. Don't answer a question. Going back to Trump's performance, he unfortunately David Muir did absolutely horrible. Nowhere even near fair. He was not even trying to hide it. ABC did absolutely horrible, even worse than the CNN debate between Trump and Biden. I mean, CNN, if you watch that, it makes CNN look like moderates, and they're not. Going from the ABC debate, now I'm recording this on September 19th. This past weekend, we just had another assassination attempt on President Trump. Why does this keep happening? I know why. They keep painting him as the worst thing in the world. That he is the enemy to society. He is the enemy to America. And when you do that, you create a political rhetoric that makes people feel like it's okay to go get rid of the evil. You say they're evil, okay, I'll go kill the evil. I'll get rid of it. But there was another assassination attempt, and I can't fathom how the Secret Service let this one even get remotely close to happening. You would think that the Secret Service would do their job and clear a site before the protectee would get to the location. I don't know how that happens. If he was there for 12 hours, how does that happen? They just missed him. They probably ran a perimeter, you would think, a perimeter sweep, and they somehow missed him. I don't get it. I don't get it. There's something going on with the Secret Service, and whether it's coming straight from the top, from the man right in the Oval Office right now, or it's coming from the director of the Secret Service, or Alejandro Mayorkas, who is the Homeland Security Director, who controls Secret Service. So something is going on there. Someone is making bad calls, or just overtly saying, yeah, don't do your jobs. And if he dies, he dies. You know, oh well. So much has happened in the past, like, 3 weeks. Really just the entire election cycle, since July. So much has happened. I do not understand how people even think that Harris Waltz is an option. I don't. I mean, if you look at the polls, right now, I'll bring it up on screen. I believe the Fox News just released their latest poll, and it puts Harris at 50. First person breaking 50 in the Fox News poll this entire election cycle, I believe. And I don't understand how she's up 2 points. I don't have. I think it was Trump 48 and Harris 50. She is up 2 points. And in their poll, their last poll, I think was in July. It was Trump won. So something is going on here. I don't know if we should believe all of the polls. I don't know if the polls are skewed. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how they do their, gather their information. But I have a theory. These polls are coming out to make you feel like you're alone. To feel like you've already lost. You can't believe that. Believe your lying eyes. I mean, look at society. Talk to everyone. So many people are unhappy. I mean, there are millions of people struggling to make bills. One right here. I mean, you have to. I don't even live extravagant. I live very conservative because of how much I make, and I'm struggling. But on a side note, another thing that's changed over the past month, I got a new phone. I went from an iPhone 12 Pro Max to a 15 Plus. I don't know. I know I changed the settings for the camera, so now I'm in HD 60. So that'll be a little different, 60 frames. But also, I don't know the camera quality, the microphone quality. I don't know how all that looks, so I guess I'll find out in post. But yeah, let me know what you think. It's been a long 3 weeks, so if there's any specific subject that you guys want me to talk about, I'll gladly make a video on it. But yeah, I'm going to do my best to leave some clips throughout the video of anything I talk about, and links are always in the description as well. I don't know if I've said that before. I always try to put links in the description for anything I find. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one.